Well, welcome back. I hope you had a fun break. I know I certainly did, and I hope the rest of you did as well. But let's dive straight back in because you find yourselves back on the Farflung, enjoying also a nice little bake with some space tea and space biscuits.
You've gone green.
Can't mean anything, can it?
Oh, it's
Oh,
secretly
stop
it was
that.
it was the Borg the whole time.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. So Aoi's going to settle in their chair and probably not respond to anyone for a while they try and process. Yeah, make the roll. That's basically role play be damned.
yeah,
That's what.
let's go. Let's go ahead and do a little savvy then.
Okay. I probably should have waited until after I had failed a roll to do this so that I could take an advantage. But I didn't. So here we are. Ooh, that's a 14.
That's good enough. Um, so you get two things from that. Um, you recall discussions a very, very long time ago about quantum counterfactual computation and why these incredibly powerful behemoths of computers are so rare. Um, um, they have a tendency to interfere with causality due to the nature of how they compute, um, insofar as how quantum counterfactual computing works is that when I say to you 1 + 1 = 2, in a sense, you're not thinking about taking the quantity of one, taking another quantity of one, and then counting the total. You're responding semantically to the fact that 1 + 1 = 2 because that's what we say. Quantum counterfactual computers can do that for computations that are a lot more complex. They can work out the outcome of an equation basically just by seeing the equation rather than by computing the equation. And this is largely IRL correct. Quantum computational mechanisms are proven. But obviously, I'm winging a little bit to make it a little bit more fun for sci-fi. One of the things that you do recall during this kind of distant, kind of surprisingly lucid conversation, now that you come to think about it, is that there's a limit to how many of these things can exist in the universe at one time because only so many things can run against these kind of causal computations. Another thing that what's the other bit? I should have had this written down. Yeah, so only a number of these can exist in the universe at the same time. And when they can get themselves into states where they are causally locked, and when they are in a state of being in causally locked, they are basically stuck until they can resolve a certain knot in their computation. Um, and it's been a while, but you're pretty sure this is what a state like that would look like in real life. You also once again get that picture in your head of that dream that came to you a long time ago, kind of this beautiful stairway in this parkland, and above it, this kind of series of trees. You see 3 oak trees, this time in more clarity.
For the first time rousing themselves from their sort of semi-sleep like sort of pit of thoughts. If either of the two of the others are on the bridge, they will see Aoi looking perturbed, shaken even by the image of 3 oak trees. I these devices were theoretical. Although I was aware that experiments were underway, it is locked, frozen. Perhaps as part of the jailing process, perhaps not. It is stuck. The computations are frozen. Now, I'm still not convinced. Knowing that helps us remove it. Unless perhaps freeing it would let it help us to take it with us. I believe it equally as likely that freeing it would allow it to have the computational awareness to decide that we need to be removed from the equation.
It has certainly demonstrated enough intelligence that it could intuit our intentions, and I can't see it being enormously fond of our intentions, or what it would assume them to be, which would be to salvage it, sell it.
While this discussion is going on, Aoi is leaning over to one of the basically to the system that interfaces with the station, right? And you said there was a basic interface there, but like everything was locked. I couldn't get behind like anything further. I am going to lean over to that, attempt to open up another channel, like to it, attempt to access more information that sits behind this sort of like hand-holding system. And I am going to type in a very, very old identification number. And I'm going to do it in an extremely casual fashion so that, like, I'm not trying to hide it, but I'm doing it so casually that it just looks like me operating anything on the far-flung.
Okie dokie, let me see if anyone is going to respond to this. It's such a nice idea, but I just don't have anything to give back to you right now. No, you don't get any response.
That's fine. Aoi is going to visibly breathe a sigh of relief. This is complex. It's not that complex. So what do we do? I think our only option left, unless anyone has had a bolt out of the blue, is to engage with those robots.
Yes, if we even can. They seem to be fixated on something that isn't there, which is worth investigating. As though they were trying to hoist something downwards. Some machinery, some equipment, move something into position.
Unless it was genuflection of some kind. Unfortunately, I think we need to get closer to them. And I think we have to ready ourselves for physical confrontation if we do that.
Agreed. This would be a good time to clarify out of character. Do we have 2 pistols? Or 1? Or
I found a pistol in the last story. I don't know about anything else.
I don't know. Some numbers were thrown around, so I'm not sure.
You've definitely got plenty of mags, but I think now pistols are the limiting factor, yes. Unless it's on your character sheet, you don't have it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
We've got 1 then.
Yeah, sure. And I think there are two people in this equally good with a pistol, and I'm one of them. So it's fine to keep us to AOI. And honestly, because it's an old-fashioned military pistol, maybe AOI, not in terms of actual rolls, will feel like I will perhaps have an advantage with it being
An
used.
affinity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
AOI's going to start suiting up again.
Okay. Play some cards
So
for half an
there's-
hour.
Yep. So between Ergo and or Glitch and Sun, any back chats while you're mucking around waiting for AOI?
I mean, both Steve and I, out of character, have been friggin' agonizing over the Fibonacci sequence and this potential anagram, and neither of us have gone anywhere with it. So I tried mapping the first 9 numbers of the Fibonacci sequence as letters of the alphabet to see if it produced anything that I could then make a different thing out of, but just no. But I know full well that I'm in the weeds with that, and I'm going to stop.
You are on your third.
To be fair, and we discussed the concept in the original Death in Space one shot, which I relisted this morning. We have to consider that solving an actual mathematical or alphabetical puzzle may be the chicken in the cage here. That Chris
I was just
to actually solve a logic puzzle. To finish this.
Like I don't like. It's the thing with this where you're like, well, is this like a thing I roll for because my character figures it out, or is it a thing I figure out? Like there's a blurred sort of area there.
But if only it were an anagram of chicken in a cage, that would have been
the ultimate goal.
But I was about to say you've got the chicken out of the cage, killed the chicken, opened the chicken up, found a cage inside it with a smaller chicken, and I think you're 3 chickens deep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think Chris is going to expect us to actually solve a mathematical puzzle to
in fiction. Okay.
I suspect he's going to be kicking us because I think if we go over to those robots, they've got the equipment.
Probably, yeah.
We just have to fight the robots to get the equipment. Like we're like, oh my god, Chris is on like
Matt, he's not a hack. He's not a hack.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Not a hack.
He wouldn't do that.
Skeletons in spacesuits. Not a hack.
I would consider making your players solve a logic puzzle to fit. I think that's hacky. Because you gotta expect your players to.
I agree, but only because I'm horrible at logic puzzles, and that's in my interest to agree with you. As I've just demonstrated, I get lost in the weeds big style.
Yeah. With like basic logic puzzles, like if then else stuff, like matching, the like Sudoku and stuff like that. I'm quite good, but anything involving like actual abstract arithmetic and calculation.
Oh sure, yeah.
I'm like mildly dyspraxic, so like.
Yes,
garbage,
so it happens. So this is great.
Anyway.
At this point you are all suited and booted and ready to set out.
Presumably with full air tanks again.
Full air tanks again, yeah.
That would be quite.
We didn't have time to fix glitches.
Do you know what you actually did? Do you want to give me does someone want to look up the repair rolls briefly? I think you make a tech roll.
It seems like it'd be a tech roll.
It's on the cheat sheet, I do recall.
Oh yes.
Page 45 of the book.
I don't think there is a roll. You just need the spare parts.
Repairing objects, 1 spare part repairs condition point. Yeah.
And does it give a time? I think there is a time.
1d6 hours.
Oh, okay. It's not on the cheat sheet, but yes. Okay.
If you want to give me a d6 roll, and if you roll a 1, I'll say you managed to get it. You managed to jerry rig it into a better position.
Yikes! Okay. It's a 3, so no.
Yeah, it's again. This is work that is eminently doable, but not this break.
You could certainly get it done within 3 weeks if you remembered to do it.
You find yourself once again on the infrastructure deck, kind of by the door that's open. Nothing seems untoward behind the door. Is anyone want to futz about here? Any interest? Any things to poke?
I think we've exhausted.
Gonna head straight to those robots.
Yeah. So the first thing you notice I have savvy rolls from all of you, actually.
Nope.
That's a 10 minus 1, 9.
I used a void point. I rolled an 18 and a 20.
Yeah.
Muted, Chris.
Still muted.
Chris.
So you can look right through the kind of hall, kind of between, almost somewhat kind of totemically, between the two pillars of the system, and into the void where the ring segments open up, and the first door kind of you can see from there, which is where you found the spacesuit guy. That door was left open and is now shut.
This place is changing. That door's now closed where we were before. We didn't close it, did we?
No, we
did
didn't.
not. Let us open that door and see what is inside, to see if it is some kind of attempt at guidance. But otherwise, perhaps it is simply as you say. Things are shifting here with no rhyme or reason, or that we can understand. And our plan remains the same.
Yeah. We have to investigate it either way, so let's do that.
So
we do that.
We do the thing.
Behind the door is a room that seems unusually large, with a lot of candles which are lit.
Hang on. I will now check my suit's atmosphere sensors.
Yeah, that requires oxygen.
There is, in fact, a breathable atmosphere. There wasn't when you were coming in.
What, as in just now, when we were re-entering, there wasn't? Or...
I don't think anyone's been watching the atmospherics like a hawk.
No, we didn't. We didn't say
we
that we
stopped
checked
checking.
when we left the path line. No.
I mean, you definitely would have checked. Like you knew that in the infrastructure area it was the same nitrogen atmosphere, and at that point you had assumed that was going to be the way it was. Because
we saw one glitch. We saw one glitch in this sort of area previously when we were here, but that's it. And it was, that's the one when it glitched to 3%.
Yeah.
Plan remains the same.
Yeah, agreed. Out of interest,
remove your suits.
No, it's not on my list of things to do. Out of interest, how many candles can we see, and are they in any particular arrangement? I'm not going to go deep into the weeds. I'm just if it correlates directly with something you've said.
There are a lot.
Candles are in pie.
There
made of
there
pie.
are a lot of them in the room. It would take some time to count them, and you would have to get into the room. They again seem arranged in concentric circles.
To be fair, if it's candles, it's usually a cake, not pie.
Jesus. Okay. So, fair enough. I'm going to interpret that to mean they are in a just in a general ritualistic, but with no particular discernible. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, Ergo's just going to follow along with AOE, though I suppose they're behind. But yes, let's proceed.
So clarify what you mean by proceed. The room has not been fully explored yet.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, AOE said basically the plan remains the same, which would be to go directly to where the robots are and try to interact with them. Maybe it's worth fully exploring this room first, though. I don't know.
You said the room was weirdly large.
It does seem like it was larger than the office, but it has no furniture other than these rings of candles.
Aoi definitely thinks this is weird quantum, like calculate. We are not as beings capable of understanding this shit. Like, as far as Aoi is concerned, there's one corner of this fucking junker that we haven't yet investigated, and it's the one with the speaking in a meta sense, obvious combat encounter that we haven't yet engaged with. Aoi is gonna get some sweet fucking equipment loot off those robots. Use it to dismantle the fuck out of this thing, take it away from here, hopefully sell it, and never ever see it again. Aoi is swiftly becoming done with this, and is growing incredibly uncomfortable with the subconscious links from deep within their brain that are being drawn between this and their past. They are very uncomfortable and they just want to get shit done.
See, I'm tempted to diverge in drive from you slightly because I feel like this kind of quantum space weirdness is exactly the kind of thing that absolutely fascinates. As much as it spooks him out, it's actually exactly the kind of thing that Glitch finds irresistible. So I think Glitch will say, actually, I've sort of changed my mind on this, particularly in light of what you said about the room seeming to have enlarged. It's like, it's very like, you know, the angles are wrong kind of thing. Yeah, I think Glitch will say, look, maybe I think you're right. We do need to investigate what those robots are doing, what their purpose is, see what we can learn from them. But there's something here, and I intend to find out everything I can. So perhaps I'll remain and investigate this room. And I'm feeding Chris exactly what he wants, and I know I'm doing it. I know I'm doing it. And I will.
Schwartz, what happened to the last group of people who separated on this station?
Well, it looks like those three down there died plenty close to each other. I don't think the separation is the issue. I think whatever's going to happen to us here is going to happen to us, whether we're in the same room or not.
I, for one, would like us at full counting when we potentially come into physical contact with those automatons below. Can we not perhaps do that first, and then we come up here and solve your little puzzle of reality warping magnitude, which neither you, nor I, nor Sun are capable of doing?
Well,
whilst this is going on, can I just stare at the candle arrangement? It's not the same as the plinths in the lower room, is it?
The similarities are that there are concentric circles.
Right. Okay. That's.
I would like you, however, to make a savvy roll.
Okay. Well, I'm now out of void points, so. No, that's just a 10. Boo.
Oh well.
Okay. Well, Southern Cat. Okay. So Ergo will reply with cat noises. Sorry. Look, maybe I can learn something here. Maybe I can't. You don't know that. On the other hand, what am I possibly going to do if you end up fighting bulky robots? You have the only handgun. Faith in which you have made abundantly clear earlier. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to help you in this department anyway. What am I going to do? Use harsh language? Punch their metal bodies? I mean, I have to look at this. I need to find out what's happening here. I have to know.
Aoi's blank, reflective gold faceplate turns to Sun.
We should stay together. That much is clear. But would 5 minutes hurt?
Five minutes.
All right, 5 minutes. Let's make use of it. Thank you. Okay. Go proceeds.
What now?
Go proceeds towards the center of the concentric circles.
Okay.
The equipment pops out of the air. Oh,
Excuse
Egg
me,
on
I
your
think you'll find
face.
I'm not a hack.
Make up your mind.
Once you've entered the room, the candles extinguish. You get a little alarm indicating that
Right.
there is no longer any oxygen in the room. Sudden, the static screams to you in kind of a quiet but deliberate sudden burst of sound that is definitely a voice, an old man's voice, and he's saying, "Calendula."
Beg your pardon? Sorry, what was that, Chris?
Calendula.
Oh, well, there's the...
I mean, I had candles AAU earlier, and that sounds like it might munge into calendula.
That looks... Yeah, I think we've
cracked the case.
I will repeat the word out loud.
There is the I think both Sun and I think everyone kind of sees that when you say the word kind of around the borders of the now unbreathable room, there seems to be a flutter of ash, but it passes just as soon and as just as illusory.
Can you describe again for me what's in the center of the concentric candles? What does it look like?
There is absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay. And when Sun did that, were they standing in the center, or where were you? Have any of us approached the center?
I think Sun was just in the room.
Yeah, I hadn't...
Glitch, on an inexplicable hunch, is going to move to the middle of stand directly in the center of the concentric circles and sort of slowly turn around and look at the room and try to see if their perception of anything changes. Or
you suddenly notice, and everyone else suddenly realizes, that these aren't candles. They're the same piles of wax that were seen in the middle of the room, in the main room before.
Okay, so this is like a time displacement thing. What happens?
Yeah, as a player, I'm back to superposition of states. We entered the room, we changed it.
Collapsed the wave function.
Perhaps presence is the key to unlocking the computer. Then perhaps we need to. I don't know.
As a last sort of gasp, a last gambit of trying to make something happen here, Ergo is going to seeing what happened when Sun spoke. He's going to say, instead of saying that name, he's going to say Alud Nelak with an open comm.
Nothing seems to happen.
Okay. Okay. I think this is a bust.
Should we go?
Yeah. Okay. That may be.
Who's cogitating over something you said about superposition, but also wants to get on with looking at what the rollers do, so isn't going to bring it up yet.
Okay.
So we'll skip the drama of getting down the ladder. It's not a deathly ladder, but you come back into the central prisoner holding area, and the two robots remain in their situation, just simply awaiting something that has yet to happen.
Here's has the pistol out and is going to very slowly approach over to that side of the room. It's a very large chamber, isn't it? So
It is. It's quite large, yeah. The robots do not seem to change their disposition at all.
Now that they're closer, what kind of condition do they look to be in?
Ancient. Truly ancient. They're definitely built, they're definitely kind of logistics and industrial support robots. They're built to use those limbs, not necessarily to think about them.
That's bad news for us, potentially. Now that we're a bit closer, what do they look to be doing?
It's quite hard to say, but give me, I don't know, would this be tech or savvy? Pick your favorites, pick your highest one, and you can roll that.
Well, you know what? They're the same. So I will roll those with avoid advantage. That is, not 2 successes, but I succeed.
Okay. They seem to be awaiting something arriving that they would put on the plinth. They seem to be kind of...
Oh, they are around another plinth?
Yes.
Oh. So is this plinth separate from the others?
Yes, the whole room is kind of concentric rings of plinths, but this one is not
lots
special.
And lots. Okay.
Yeah. They do not acknowledge your existence whatsoever.
I wonder. Go on.
And the 4 in the middle have like chambers or sorry, I've forgotten how you describe it. Yes. Yeah. Do any are the other same question, I think. Yes. Are those the only 4 plinths with cases on?
Yes, all the other plinths are empty.
Aoi isn't saying this out loud yet, but did we make a massive mistake just scattering that guy's bones around? Should we have brought the body down and put it in the 4th case? Is that the video RPG logic puzzle that we are,
I feel like I feel like the bones and ash and everything is the aftermath of whatever befell them, rather than like I don't think it's a bone-powered quantum computer, right? Like
that would be very Death in Space.
Very, very metal and very Death in Space, but
Death
also
in Space X Muck Borg.
Yeah.
Note that one down for later.
Something about superpositions. Are there things we need to bring together?
I almost feel like there are things in these rooms we can't see because they exist adjacent to our state, if that makes sense. Like these robots are clearly interacting with something that we cannot see, and it's like they're lowering something down onto the plinth, right? Like I don't know if it's going to be another one of these cases, or it's the computer.
I read that as they're stuck. They've been given an order, but there's nothing there for them to interact with anymore. So
maybe. Yeah. But then you would expect to see the
4-dimensional robots.
Oh God, hyperbots. I feel like if it was simply a case if they were stuck on loop, having done their task, then we would see the thing that they were luring something that they appeared to be, right? Their motion, but there's nothing there where they stood that they appear to have put down.
Yeah.
So if that were the case, I'd expect to be able to see the object that they were interacting with. That they, So it's a bit weird. Yeah. It's a bit weird. Yeah.
So why? Yes. So questions I have as a player: why was the fourth plinth modified? Like, that's weird, isn't it? The fourth plinth was unoccupied and modified. The other three plinths had bodies in them.
Well, isn't that because being put in the other plinths, they died in some fashion and maybe just rotted away via this time-space weird dilation thing. But the thing that you saw, something being consumed to ashes in the modified version, that can't have been the same thing that happened to the skeletons, or the skeletons would no longer be in there. They'd be ash.
Yeah, although there was a faint trace of ash in the body you tipped out of the suit earlier.
There's a lot of ash themed, and to me that is a semantic visual placeholder for huge epochs of time passing, right? You are seeing massively into the future, and so the distinction between it's bones and it's ash might just be a case of now it's bones, later it'll be ash.
Sure, yeah.
So
and we know at some point in that modified chamber was the Mercator person.
Yes.
I tried
yeah,
kind of engaging with the computer about Mercator and it didn't respond.
I'm just going to look at the entry while you discuss about Mercator again.
This would be the point where I'd be Googling.
So again,
if this was a video game, I would have been happy some time ago.
If this was a video game, I'd be making a save about now and then going in two different options. One is there are three of us. There are three plinths. The other is there's one other. There are three dead bodies, but one plinth. If we have to debug, unloop, free this computer, I suspect it has to be done from the inside. But that's me as a player. So, and these plinths just look like death plinths.
We have to go deeper.
I'm going to ask for some savvy rolls.
Yes, please. Can we roll some dice? Help!
Oh, was that you calling help earlier?
Oh shit! Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's a big old.
The echo of me just confused. It turns out is what that was.
It's a big old fail from AOE, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'm gonna burn a void point on this bad boy because times are hard.
I also burnt a void point.
Oh, that's good because that was crap, and that was good. That's 17 minus 116 for me.
Well, that was higher than
Steve,
my 13.
Okay, so you both passed on the void point rule. So you both in the distance can hear a door actuating from upstairs.
Oh, for the love of God.
We should have stayed upstairs.
See, I told you I knew it. I'm just gonna be decisive. Ergo's just gonna go full speed to where he heard that door because he's frustrated. He's stumped. He's confused. He needs some kind of answers, and that's the only thing that seems to be.
I have had an idea. Our presence seems to pin down or change the state of this place. Do we need to split up to observe?
Yes, that's a really good point. If we are present in numerous locations, we collapse the superposition into one definite state, and then maybe we can get somewhere with this. That's a good idea.
AI?
AOE shrugs and says, "Fine. I will go in the central chamber."
Of course you will. Of course you will.
In the central chamber.
with the big computer, then I'll stay here.
That you love so much. Okay. Well, Ergo will. Ooh, okay. Was the room we were just checking out upstairs with the other room with the candles and the concentric circles? Was that in the admin wing?
Yeah, it's in the admin ring, the concentric
Yeah.
ring on the outer side of the station.
Ooh. Okay, no, that's definitely me going to the weeds again with like concentric rings of candles and the station being a ring, and it's the hot. No, we're not going to go there.
I'm definitely thinking of quantum chickens now.
Okay, I think Ergo will. I mean, so when Ergo sort of ran off, obviously with Storm Comms, did Ergo manage to see anything happening when they reached that door upstairs, or is it just like it's now open when it was closed, or vice versa?
The door is open, and it looks like the office behind it. The state of the doors in the ring section seems to have changed a bit. You're certain that some doors are now open that were closed.
Right.
I should point out that none of the doors you come across up there have been locked yet.
Right. Okay. Yet. So it's a great time to fill up. Okay. Right. Well, Ergo will go to the admin. I'm going to call it the admin ritual room.
So, in the kind of so the first door you go in with the office in it is unchanged, but for the absence of I think you salvaged the suit, didn't you? So did you move the suit back to the ship? Yeah. So there's still a pile of bones there, but oh no, there's no bones there. That's quite important.
Is there ash where the bones was, or is it just gone?
It's just gone. I wouldn't say it's clean. There's evidence that that you've been in here. It seems to certainly be the same room, but no ash, no bone, certainly no suit.
Oh God, I'm gonna run into like them when they were alive in the past or some craziness. And like, I don't know what's gonna happen now.
Excuse me, I am not a hack.
You keep saying it, buddy.
We're going to need that on a t-shirt.
Okay. Well, okay. In which case, I will. Ergo will report this. Oh, Chris, I'll report this over the call and be like, guys, the bones from our errant fourth member who was abandoned, they're gone. Make of that what you will. I'm beyond speculating at this point. I'm going to proceed to the concentric candle room in the admin block. I guess let me know on the comm if you see anything.
Is that the
change.
same room?
It's slightly further around the ring. There are a lot of very similar rooms in the ring. It's just some of them seem to be different when you go back.
I think Matt's confused because I said I was going there, but then I was like, oh, actually, like, did I see anything when I went to that door? So like, this is on the way there, right? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in there now.
I presume we're sort of staying on comms. I will be, there won't be radio silence. I'll be like, when there's a gap, I'll be sort of narrating what I can see. If that's nothing, I'll say nothing. But I kind of want people to keep talking so that if suddenly somebody stops talking, this could be a problem for.
Oh, they haven't said anything in 10 minutes. I'm sure they're fine.
I should flag though, I have absolutely changed my output to exclude sun and glitch again. I can hear them, but I just want to try something.
Sure.
And I just say outside of that comm loop, but on comms, I say, you can hear me.
You get a flash.
I'm so in the weeds. I don't kind of think of a question. Are you Are you ascribed at any point in your development to oak munitions?
You do not get a response. No news, I suppose, is good news.
Very. Those automatons down there, are they waiting for something?
You get a kind of another series of pulses that doesn't really make any sense, but it's definitely a response, but it's not an intelligible response.
Are you waiting for something?
Kind of a series of bright flashes now.
Are you waiting for someone?
It's hard to know if you've been answered because those bright flashes haven't stopped. They're just kind of going in and out of sync and then coming back into sync, and then eventually it settles back down.
Am I speaking to multiple individuals?
You get no response.
AI hisses with frustration and keys the output back into the general channel. Well, how is the
so you're
magical standing in different places plan working?
Excuse
so
me,
son, you've got nothing has changed so far downstairs. The robots are still happily, maybe happily, it's hard to tell.
I think down here, everything's the same.
And anywhere else?
Yes,
Anything?
of course. The candle room seems to be a. Actually, let's. The candle room is an office again, which is frustrating. But in your frustration, you kind of check across the way and you find another door, which was once opened is now closed. There seems to be sound coming from behind it, like the sound of kind of almost rushing water.
I mean, Ergo's just gonna open the door. At this point, caution is sort of left, overtaken by curiosity, I think.
So inside this room is a kind of it's hard to describe, but there seems to be just a maelstrom of ash and what seems to be kind of physically manifested static. There's kind of typhoons around the room, except kind of on the path towards the center part of the room. There is a small, simple box in the middle of the room.
Oh my god. Right, well, okay. So Ergo gets on the comms and says, I'm in admin. There appears to be a new room or an old room that is now totally different. It is full of what I can only describe as static anomalies, spatial anomalies of some kind. And once again, just an enormous amount of ash. It's chaotic in here. There's a path down the middle, and I am proceeding towards what appears to be a small box. I will stay in contact. Stand by. And he starts walking down the path.
Son, you realize for quite a while now, comms have been static free until this report, which had some degree of what would be normal interruption, but it suddenly has registered with you that prior to this, all the comms have been like perfectly clear.
I think I'm going to start. How long would it take me to get to Glitch?
A minute
Is
or
it
two.
worth-
What could
I'm
possibly
coming
go
over,
wrong?
Glitch.
You will definitely see Aoi on the way with no intention of following you.
I'd like everyone to take off some oxygen, please. Just one point.
Is that our first tick off for this entry into the station? Or have I
I
missed
think
one?
it is, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Sun reported that they're on their way. Okay,
Yes.
so Olga will say, okay, Sun, hopefully I'll see you soon. I can't wait, because every time we wait, things just disappear and we lose the trail. I'm going to continue. And Ogo continues walking down this path towards the box.
You are uninterrupted on your path to the box. The box it's a utility kind of box that straps to things. You pick it up and check inside it, and you recognize immediately tools that you do not recognize.
Son, Aoi, I may have retrieved the tools we need. I don't believe this room is safe. If you do come in here, be careful. I'm going to attempt to leave with the tools and extract them now to a safe area. I'll meet you, hopefully, in the admin foyer hopefully under a minute.
Once you have picked up the tools, the weird storm effect surrounding you just vanishes. It's gone. That's great. We did that. We've done that. That's in that state. This moves to that state.
He's got like 7 different state machines behind the curtain. Like,
That's amazing.
It's not easy. You can tell I'm not a hack because this is complex. Right, so that is the condition we are in right now. So you get back to the corridor without any problems.
okay. Free and clear, then Ergo will try and confirm that these are the tools that they were seeking. It seems pretty obvious that they are, but he's not familiar with these, so it's like it could be for anything, right? So, but intuitively, it seems very obvious both to me and I think it would to him that these have some significance. There's all this crazy anomalies surrounding it that disappear when you retrieve it. It's like a guided. There's something happening and there's something guiding our actions here. So, but can I assess like what state they're in and that they are relate to the computer?
Yeah, do you want to give me a tech roll? That's an interesting part. And while we're waiting on that, what are the other two up to? Matt, how are you feeling?
Okay, well, he's just waiting. Is probably going to proceed towards where Glitch would say they were, and with the hope of seeing Glitch with some tools. Slightly baffled that the standing in different places plan has worked.
Quantum mechanics. Okay. It's not magic.
It may as well be.
Let's be clear, it's also not this.
This is totally accurate.
Son, where were you? You were going to head up towards Ergo, weren't you?
Yes, I was in the process of heading up towards Ergo. When I see Ergo, if I get there,
that's a bit of a jump because you see nobody.
Oh boysies! Oh boysies!
Nobody.
Nobody in the ring.
AI Glitch on comms. Anybody there?
Well, Matt's muted himself, which seems incredibly apt.
Do we hear Sun?
Yep, 100%. Comms are clear.
I do as well. So I hear Sun as well, not just.
Yep, everyone's still on comms. There's no disruption.
Yes,
Glitch, where are you?
I hear you. I'm in the admin ring.
I can't see you.
Do you have a?
What did I say?
Well, look, you said a lot of things, and then I went and found the tools, so we can do the arithmetic later. Okay. Can you? I don't know. Bang something on the wall, make a loud noise, shine a light, something. Son.
Sure. I'll sort of. I presume we sort of agree a location, and I will go there and I don't know, hit the wall or throw something in the air or smash something with my crowbar.
So sound does not, acoustic sound is not traveling. You're not hearing them.
Okay. So, son, I can't hear or see any sign of you. And I check the atmospheric readout to verify that sound should be propagating. Like, is it still 100% N2 at some sensible pressure?
Oh no, I mean it's breathable air outside.
Okay.
But presumably mine isn't. Mine is still.
I was about to do that on comm. Yeah.
Yours is nitrogen.
I've got breathable air here, son. What have you got?
Just N2. AI, how about you?
I don't know what have I got.
Oh, apologies. Yes, I had to come in on that. You have no breathable air. You have N2.
Nitrogen.
Can you two? Are you two together? Can you verify each other's location?
Yeah, Chris.
I mean, I've been walking towards the admin ring as well. So can I see some?
You can see some. You can both kind of meet up there in the admin ring, and you cannot see Ergo.
The ash, it seems to me that we see ash when something changes states, when the candles blew out, when Glitch found the tools, and Glitch said he saw ash in that fourth plinth.
Correct.
So you're suggesting that the ash might not signify destruction, but change.
Yes, it's a stretch.
Is this like some
Fine.
entropic?
I find myself swayed by your argument. Glitch, go stand in the fourth plinth.
Oh my god.
What about the tools? I mean, you
But
can't
it's
get to
merely
them.
change, not destruction. Why would you have any concern about that?
See, now this is like a fucking Star Trek teleporter accident situation waiting time. This is like you don't die. We just disassemble you and then rebuild you somewhere else. Yeah, okay. Cool. Great.
No, AI is being extremely,
cool and detached about the whole. Yeah.
No, it's sarcastic. Like,
I
AI
see.
is just
Okay.
like, yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Well,
That's
this was
why
never.
it's
It was never my idea to go and stand in the fourth plinth. To be clear.
So this plan would be all well and good if any of you could find your way back to the main room.
Right.
Can we not?
Okay.
No, you are in what seems to be the admin ring, but you can't. No matter how sure you've gone around it more than once, and there doesn't seem to be a way back into the main area.
So I'm in the back rooms, basically. Okay.
Sorry, is this applying to all of us?
It is now applying to all of you because you all entered the ring, didn't you? I don't think anyone didn't enter the ring. I'm pretty sure I kept good track of that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
we're all in the ring.
Right. Okay. So the main room, to be clear, that's where the quantum computer is housed.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that was obviously going to be my next port of call, was to see if I could make something happen with the tools, but I can't make my way back there. Oh boy. Okay.
Matt,
I
Aoi, something comes to you from your previous meditation that I didn't point out and I wanted to. One of the quick ways to talk, or not talk to, but one of the ways these things are referred to is temporal optical processing enclosure, or TOPE.
Okay.
Just a bit of color there for you.
All right, okay. It's not meant to be a clue, I hope, because I've got no idea what to do with that.
Let me just check all my anagrams for the word taupe.
No. Okie dokie. So we're all now in the ring. No one knows what's going on. Everyone's sad and frustrated. I'm having a great time.
We just end the session there, I presume.
Yep,
I
GG's.
think no. So I want to. You're moving around this ring. All the doors now seem to be closed. You've not come across an open door in quite some time.
And they are not openable. They're
They are
sealed.
completely openable, but everyone's got the fact that it requires your presence to change the state, but no one's gone into the rooms which change the state.
I'll be honest, I've completely lost track of what rooms there are and where they are, and
You are on
I'll
basically
be honest,
a
I'm
ring.
completely lost.
You are in a ring of what are normally office rooms, and occasionally when you go into them, they are no longer office rooms. Whether or not the doors are open or closed, seems to change.
No, I understand all this, but I if you ask me how many rooms there are of significance, that you have mapped out on your thing, I would not be able to answer that question, and I wouldn't be able to define them all, because I was lost with the number of rooms about an hour ago. Like, when a room I thought was the same room wasn't the same room, and now I just don't know what our options are.
I'm aware of two key rooms in admin, which is the one with the concentric circles of candles, where I tried standing in the middle, and Aoi and Ergo had a little disagreement, and then the one where the tools were just retrieved, which was like across the hallway from it. I'm not sure if there are other rooms of significance in admin or not, other than doors closing and stuff.
I thought the concentric candles room was the same room where we found the bones, like the body.
Yes,
on.
it actually was the same physical location of door was where you went to, and the room had been modified. The important thing to understand about the geometry of your situation is that you are in a corridor that defines a circle, and off that corridor are many other doors. You can count them if you want. I'd say there's probably 27 of them that usually open to offices. At the minute, all those doors are closed. Those doors have yet to be in a locked state.
Well,
I mean, I'd want to go round like synchronized, talking to each other, and then just opening doors one by one.
Yes, exactly.
And comparing notes, and describing what we see, and seeing where it differs.
I suppose the first door yourself, Sun, and Aoi open is probably the strangest one so far, because behind it is a garden path, and a flight of steps.
So we both see.
You both see in that room, yes.
You guys seem to be in the same spatial context or whatever.
You can see each other. You can Aoi and Sun are in exactly the same instance. You can shake hands and do what thou wilt.
Yeah. It's just me that's in some weird parallel thing at the moment.
Yeah, but sorry, just to confirm, Aoi and Sun see a garden, and Glitch sees a garden?
No, Glitch sees the corridor. Glitch, do you want to open the door?
Yeah. So we're coordinating because we still have comms, right? So I want to open the same door they're opening and compare what Sun and Aoi see versus what Ergo sees.
Sure. So you also see the garden. There's a path leading down to a flight of stairs.
Oh. Okay. My immediate instinct is that maybe if I descend the stairs, I end up in the sort of the layer that Aoi and Sun are in. Ergo will report then that I've got a descending flight of stairs behind this door. Do you say you have an ascending flight of stairs?
That's right, Chris, isn't it?
Yes.
That's good. Yeah. Shall I try coming down? Maybe I'm above you in this strange space.
It's worth a try. I mean, we could always. Well, you start, and I guess perhaps we're supposed to meet in the middle. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Ergo descends the stairs.
So kind of you all meet up together basically. Ergo kind of comes around the corner and descends this flight of stone stairs. I think Aoi and Sun have not really entered the room, but Ergo kind of appears from out of the side.
Okay, well that was different. It's like there's many versions of the space station stacked on top of each other or something here. This doesn't make a great deal of sense to me. But it's done in such a way that we can traverse it. It's like it's done with us in mind. It's strange. I'm not sure. What do you think we should do?
This space that Ergo has travelled through, you referred to it as a garden. Is it the same thing as in my dream?
100%. The staircase is completely unmistakable. Where it differs is that where there were oak trees before, there's just kind of bushes. There's kind of still immaculately manicured, but there's a series of bushes.
Aoi, without saying anything, is going to walk silently past the others and kind of up the steps and take a few paces out into the garden.
So you see kind of once you kind of turn the corner, you see another door kind of entering back into the corridor, kind of around a corner where it would not be immediately visible from your first location.
Sorry, can you say all of that again?
So you entered into the room, which is basically as if the room had a garden in it. You go up the steps, you kind of turn around the corner, and then in front of you, you see another wall with a door in it that is clearly the station door,
right?
Leading
so,
out
like
into
the garden, the garden is almost like a mirage, like an illusion, or at least as far as I can do physically. Okay, then I will take steps back down to rejoin the others. Let's look around. Is there Is there now an open passageway towards the central chamber?
Yeah, so once you leave the room, you come back into the corridor. There are still no immediately discernible exits to the central chamber.
But at least we are together.
Yes, though the last time. Well, okay. Shall we try moving to one of these rooms that caused everything to change? I'm happy for us to stay together, but that seems to be the mechanism. Don't ask me how, by which things are shifting.
Let us go to the room with the candles.
Okay, on this level or the level above? Because I don't know.
The level we're on first.
Okay, let's go.
So you make your way around. When you enter into what you assumed would be the room with the candles, you've come across a kind of a mess hall, effectively, and it's interesting how suddenly the light changes. This is a very kind of bright, kind of orange, kind of red location with lots of people kind of, the echoes of lots of people moving around, but certainly in the middle there is a table with 4 people sitting there. 3 can be made out to be slightly gaunt, maybe thuggish looking individuals, and the 4th has their back to you. They are having a conversation.
Can we move closer and eavesdrop? And also, can we move closer and discern like name tags on their uniforms if they're wearing coveralls or uniforms or something like that?
Unfortunately, they're not, but the conversation does become audible, and you hear just kind of back chat. But it's kind of like, "You've broken every rule. I told you he's not a screw. He's a screw loose. He's the worst of them." The third, this is kind of the three people kind of almost addressing the fourth, kind of quite a chummy conversation, but also maybe a little bit confrontational. It's at that point that the fourth person kind of turns around and sees you and just basically remarks, "You again? Where is she? Where is Calendula?" There's suddenly a bright flash, and you find yourself in one of those office rooms, and there are three modern light EVA suits.
With no one inside?
No one living.
Oh, but are the skeletons?
Skeletons, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, okay, well, that's one theory out of the water.
You're muted,
You're on
Matt, by
mute
the
there,
way.
Matt.
If we step out of the room, has it changed the ring?
Let's see now. You'll have to take a walk around to work that
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, so you back out and take a walk. Let me see. No, it has not.
Okay, process of elimination. Next weird room.
Yeah.
So there's the room where the tools were located.
Can I just go back and, like, the people in the mess hall, what sort of clothes were they wearing? Was it sort of like uniforms or prison jumpsuits or?
It's hard to say. There were definitely uniforms. The fourth person, you did not get a good look at them, which is weird because they did turn to address you. But you couldn't quite make out what they were wearing, almost as if you were trying to pull at the details of a dream.
Sure.
The fourth
I
person
mean, they
turned to
talked
address
about-
us.
Yeah, and they said,
Oh.
"You again, where's Calendula?"
Oh, sorry, I see.
Well, they did refer to screws, so I'm assuming it was a prison environment.
That's prison speak, yeah. Which is screws is guards, right? Yeah.
So were we? Sorry, we were going to the other room that we know of, right?
I'm assuming there's nothing of note about these jumpsuits, like just jumpsuits with skeletons in them. EVA suits, I mean. There's no nothing worth investigating there. Okay, all right. We'll proceed to the next room then, I guess. Is that the room where the only other one I know of significance is the one with the tools room in the admin place? That is. Okay.
Yep, sure. You open the door. You seem to be in a kind of darkened court, as if there's definitely on a lectern someone who appears to be a judge. The room, again, with these kind of ghostly, almost non-present apparitions, kind of pulls you in. Well, doesn't pull you in, but there's definitely the echo of people here, if not actual people here. This time you see that there is a judge who, spookily enough, has the body of a child but addresses the party with the voice of a man once you are all in. And he addresses them. He addresses you as Saturn Medine Makata, and he wants to know. He asks you, "Why are you seeking knowledge? Why are you trying to get out?"
Does anyone want to field this? to this spooky child judge.
It's all going to eventually make sense, but it's going to be terrible sense.
Okay. I mean, it's in a strong field, hard to tell which of us is worse at talking to people. So,
In fairness,
well, I guess that then, in the absence of anyone responding, Ergo will step forward and say, "Because we're lost and we don't belong here."
sorry, you cut out just a little bit. What was the whole response?
I had my mute backwards. That's why I said, "Because we're lost and we don't belong here." Do I get any kind of response, or is this just like an echo that doesn't respond?
It does. It seems like it responds to you, but its response is, "Take them away."
Fair.
So let's start moving these bits together again. Oh no, wait. My apologies. It doesn't. Its next question is. It answers. It requests more information from you. And this time it asks, "Who is Calendula? Why did you take such a risk to bring her here?"
We'll put that down to a time glitch. Open to input here, guys. Very open to input.
I'm sorry. I'm completely lost. my brain literally cannot cope with all this.
I've run out of short-term memory for names and clues.
That's exactly it.
But I'm working on it.
So I think Steve has some notes on who Calendula is.
Yes, that's the one thing I don't have.
Calendula is the anagram of the name.
Alad Nelak.
Scrolling. Yes.
Yeah. Calendula. Okay. That explains why I was failing horribly at anagramming it. Because it's just
because it's
name.
not
Okay.
I mean,
what do we know about Calendula, if anything?
I mean, we just know it's an anagram of the thing, right? We don't know anything.
Alad Nelak. Yes, I don't think I've got.
It
any
seems
more
to
links.
be a her.
Yeah.
It seems to be like the figure in the mess hall with the face we couldn't see asked what we'd done with her.
Yes.
And that figure, I would guess, is Mercator, which is the same person who
was
being accused by the judge of doing something and was in the modified thing. As for what, I literally can't even remember the name. Calendula?
Calendula.
As for who or what Calendula is, I honestly have zero knowledge. So I don't even know what AU would say at this point.
Well, the judge...
I don't know.
No, I don't. But the judge just said, I believe, they asked... They say it was... They asked why we'd brought Calendula here and intimated that it was reckless. Yeah. Reckless to bring Calendula.
Why'd you take in such a great risk bringing her here?
Okay. I think that's just something we're not supposed to know yet, and we just note that down and say something completely unhelpful in response because we have nothing. So I would just say, who is Calendula? I would just ask who is Calendula and see if I get anything back.
Oh, unfortunately not, because this is also a spectre, and the judge demands that take them away, and other kind of not spooky child entities, but other entities are kind of berobed and come and try and grab you, but they're clearly just projections at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
The room kind of fades back into a larger but still nominal office space. Got that, and then that's done. So now we go here. Great. Okay. Another O2 tick, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh boy. That's getting a bit more scary now that, reality doesn't let me go back to the ship when I get low. Okay.
So, I suppose at this point, kind of, there's a degree of undisciplined wandering kind of around this seemingly endless hall, which now you can find your way back to the normal room, or the main room,
Main chamber. With
the
the
main chamber
computer. Okay.
with the computer.
I mean, yeah. At this point.
So
Okay.
sorry.
go
I'm
on.
not. I'm definitely not complaining about it. But like, so we left the courtroom, and now there's a path back to the.
Yeah, so now
main
you're
chamber.
back in the same circular room, the same circular office complex, but it now behaves the way it does in normal space.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Let's go tear the shit out of this computer and leave.
I was literally about to say my first instinct now was, this is all very confusing. I have no idea what's happening. It all seems incredibly bad. And now I have tools. I don't even know if we want to use the tools or just use Sun's crowbar and just knock 7 shades of fuck out of this computer, because this is horrifying. And I don't like it. And there's no guarantee that the ground underfoot is going to stay solid at any given moment. So, we are in agreement. Son,
So,
any contradictory? No,
Not really. No, so I've run out of yes, things to go on.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're going to the main chamber.
Dokie. The main chamber remains as it was before. Let me see. Yeah. So the issue now is, how do you detach a quantum computer of this magnitude with the tools that you brought with you? And that, I suppose, is kind of down to a couple of tech rolls. So let's get some dice out to take a little break from the non-dice segment of the stream.
Okay.
So can we get a few tech rolls? We need to intuit the mechanisms that are at play here in these tools.
I am burning my
Is
only void point.
this something that all of us rolling would help with?
I think if you... so, Aoi, I think you have probably not practical knowledge, but at least historical knowledge here. So I think you've got a good roll. Ergo, I think you're the tech guy. Sun, is it fair to say? Do you have a better than average?
Same stat.
Yeah. It's the only thing I have is that I have the tablet, really. So I'm just like sort of...
I also have a tablet.
Oh, there you go. It's just that I've been doing it. Yeah, there's really no difference.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah.
I'm a -1, so I'm less techie. I'm not.
I mean, if anything, AO is more techie because they're literally like interface directly with.
Shall I make a roll with I've got a void point?
Go for it. Go for it. I'll save mine then.
That is a success. If it influences you at all, it's a 20.
Not particularly.
Ooh.
So these tools are very highly technically complex. You've not seen the like of them before. They are designed to interface with the quantum system itself. They're not so much like a hammer, a chisel, and a crowbar. They're more kind of like little data pads, which kind of seem to attach flush when you place them on things. Like they attach to things and produce and modify data in certain ways. As to how they help, unpick the locks, that's really down for you to figure out.
Well, shit. Because I'm not gonna. um, I mean, how do you mean? Like, do we have to like enter things onto them?
Well, they would attach to things, so you can attach them to other computers. You could attach them to your tablets. You could attach them to the quantum system itself. It's down to you.
Okay,
Or which one you want to try first, I suppose.
I will try it on the quantum computer first.
Okay, it attaches, like it kind of sticks to the side. You see kind of an uncomfortable pulsing from the two pillars, but it kind of makes a connection and kind of is displaying a lot of data that doesn't make much sense, but would probably be handy to connect it up to something with a bigger screen.
So is the intimation there that there is possibly useful information? It's just you can't take it in with.
Yeah, it's kind of the interface itself is basically a single line of characters, and there's just so much going across there. But it does have a standard data interface on the other side of it, so the tablets could pick up on
it. Should we just do that? Like connect the tablets then, and just do that on the other side? Yeah. Because they're like, can we use both tablets? Since we got two, apparently that'd be useful.
Yeah, I mean, you can rig it up so it's dual screen for. So what you have in front of you is basically an interface to the tool itself, and it's kind of reporting back and saying that the taupe system is currently locked out. It is in bootstrap mode. It cannot be started in this state without. Sorry, let me get the actual words here. Yeah, it cannot be started in this state as there is currently a counterfactual operation in progress.
Okay, my interpretation of that is that if I'm understanding the concepts at play here, which is a big fucking if, would be that something is currently in a state of like flux and needs to be like collapsed down, which is, if I'm understanding correctly, something we achieve by like going and being in these rooms to observe them. So I guess to like solve that so that it can proceed, one of us needs to go and occupy one of those spaces where stuff is changing. So I guess Ergo would try going to I don't know, say the candle room in admin, and like communicate over the comms to whether that helps.
Okay, so Ergo kind of sets off up the stairs to the ring, and goes around a little bit and enters into a room, which you would assume was the candle room. And it is actually the candle room, but on this side, in the middle of the room, a young woman sits in a chair, because I am actually a hack.
Is she like an echo, like a spectral, or is it like literally a very real looking?
She seems quite real, but she does not seem lucid. She seems very turgid. That's the worst possible word I could have picked. She seems quite lethargic is the proper word. She kind of notices you enter in and turns and goes, You were the ones Makata said would come. But he said I shouldn't have told you that. It's very confusing. I'm sorry. Is he gone?
Well, we agree that it's confusing, at least. Are you calendula?
Yes, yes. You can't. Can you help me go home? I don't think you can, but the taupe can. It said it could.
How do I send you home?
I don't know.
The
And
taupe.
she gets up and is quite unsteady on her feet, but she's clearly trying to take action here.
Okay. Ergo will, like, move closer and try to steady her, I guess. And say, the taupe? Do you mean the computer?
Yes. Yes, it's when I came here it said I shouldn't have been here, but it was helpful. It was trying to help. I just want to go home.
Okay, like, it will take me a long and awkward time to do it, but let's say that Ergo is relaying all of this information over the comms rather than me just sort of saying and then. But yeah, I'm gonna let Aoi and Sun know exactly what just happened and what Calendula said, and ask if anything has changed in the computer room, if their attempts are still blocked.
Yeah, so
Are they?
let's yeah, so when you're looking at the state, it doesn't seem to have changed much. It can't really give you a percentage completion because it doesn't really know what's going on, but it's still reporting that the system is kind of in a locked state.
Sorry, where is this is where are you, Glitch? Are you in the candle room? Or?
I'm in what was the candle room in the administration ring, and I have Calendula here, and we're actually having a conversation, and she seems real enough. She says she wants to go home.
Try and bring her here.
We could try that. Yeah.
It's either that, I think, or take her to the modified plinth.
Oh boy.
Does she know anything? Does she know anything about this Saturn Medine Makata?
Is it,
or who?
Is it Saturnine or Saturn? Was it Saturnine?
Right.
Medine? I don't know if you want
Whichever name.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. In which case, the Ergo will ask Calendula. Does the name Saturn Medine
Makata?
Does that name mean anything to you?
Makata, he
Makata.
brought me here. It's so long ago, I can't even remember. He brought me here. He said he'd look after me.
Was he a guard?
He was a scientist, and I don't know. He was always so strange with his candles and his equations. He was always trying to learn, but
Okay. Son, I don't think we're going to get anything else information-wise out of Calendula. She seems pretty overwhelmed and confused, which is relatable. So let's try what AOI suggested. I'm going to bring her down to you, okay?
Chris, can you remind me what the judge said? Because the judge was talking to Saturn, this person.
He was like, "Why did you bring her here?"
Yeah, it takes
It
such
was
a big risk.
And was there something about knowledge? Why were you trying to learn? What you?
Yeah. So what were you trying to learn? Why did you bring her here at such great risk? Yeah, that's the gist of it. Okay. Sorry, just switching over.
Yeah, Ergo brings Calendula to the main room, or tries. Do I get there?
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
That's okay.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Okay, am I still audible now?
Ooh,
Your
yes.
Switch to the other
your mic has changed.
Why would it do that halfway through a thing?
You know you can't touch any audio setting ever without it changing everything else.
That is true. How is that? Is that a little better?
It's the same. You're
No,
using a different
same.
microphone by the sounds of it.
Yes, and I've just changed it in there, but let me see if I change it here. It will help.
It's very
Right.
echoey,
1 second.
fishbowl-esque.
Audio input. Right, give me 30 seconds. I'm going to refresh this page. I will be right back.
That's okay. Oh, it gives us some time to work out all these puzzles.
I can't.
Because of that close. Yeah, I think what Matt said is pretty much on the money in terms of bring Calendula either to the computer room or probably to that fourth modified pod thing. That seems appropriate. Oh, you're muted, Matt.
I am back. How's my mic?
I said, yeah, it sounds great. Yep, I agree.
great,
Either to the computer or just put her in the burner.
Just stick her in the. Screw it.
So
Yeah.
she is unsteady on her feet, but you make your way back round to the main entrance of the ring. When you enter there is you see this specifically, Ergo. The other people don't really, because they're kind of looking out on this. But the room is transfigured. It looks much tidier. All of the equipment is there. There's no graffiti. And there are kind of various kind of, again, somewhat spectral entities walking around. And you kind of start making your way down the steps, well aware that this is hopefully just all projection.
Do the figures look like scientists or?
It's tough to say. There are definitely, again, these people are all wearing uniform. That's the best you can get, because you're not super familiar with the culture. You can't really get a read on if these are scientists or if they are guards or if they are military people or if they are prisoners. But they're definitely in uniform. They don't have the bearing of prisoners. They're not there. They do not seem to be there against their will. That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
One kind of a group of people kind of are at the stairs, and one of them turns round and to address you. And let me get this right now. You have this is a very military looking gentleman. You have never seen someone so smitten so immediately by Calendula. As she walks down the stairs and goes, oh, this is highly irregular. What are you doing here? What is your name? Calendula seems a bit taken aback and gives her name. And the spectre fades away, along with all the other kind of modifications. So Steve, Sun, and Oi, all you would have noticed was kind of their halting approach down the stairs. This kind of young woman, kind of dressed in kind of a gown, quite a heavy gown, definitely not built for space flight.
Well, I found Calendula.
The readout on the screen registers that the system is now in full startup mode. Please stand by.
Okay, good hunt, Joi. That seems to have done something. Ergo's just going to kind of sit Calendula down somewhere where they can.
She is not doing well and is kind of sobbing a little bit.
Okay. Well, I
put her in the burner. No. Okay. If the tools seem to be open to working, Can we work them?
Yeah, what you're getting now is a startup sequence, or what you seem to be a startup sequence. More like, I suppose, a reconnection sequence. And it's saying that the system is booting and is coming online, and is giving you a couple of minutes before it finishes bringing itself up. Do you want to interrupt that? Do you want to take some action there? A tech roll may give you more information.
Success.
Cool. So you have options there if you want to interrupt the boot or if you want to allow it to complete. Yeah.
Okay. So these tools don't really seem to be anything to do with removing this computer. It's just whether we let the computer run or not.
Did we not just take specific steps to not block this process? So it seems weird that we then would choose to block it.
Yeah, sure. It's just these don't seem to be doing what we're here to do.
Did we make a massive assumption of what these tools were?
Right. AOE is going to make a choice, because if we talk about this, I think we're here till midnight. Like, AOE is going to make a choice. The computer seemed to indicate to us that it wanted to help us and wanted it out of here, right? We are now following this computer's trail of abstract time-jumping breadcrumbs. Aoi is at the end of her tether and is literally going... This is as close as Aoi gets to a fuck it move. Aoi is going to let this, whatever it is, run and boot up whatever this is. Presumably it's basically what could ever be, what wrong could ever come from unshackling this quantum rogue AI. And he's going to do exactly that. He's going to let it run, let it boot up. Yeah.
It doesn't take too long. It takes about 30 seconds for this little screen to complete. At that point, the little tool computer kind of drops off and clatters to the floor, its purpose seemingly complete. There is a moment, maybe a little bit of a pregnant pause of silence before a kind of booming, bombastic voice as the crystals within the enclosure flash brightly states, "Approach the taupe! Approach the taupe!"
I feel like I've been teleported into like a medieval kingdom. Shall I bring Calendula up then?
At the sound of the voice, Calendula kind of perks up and goes, You're still here, Taupe? Are you? Greetings, Calendula. Quantum lock has been resolved. Can I go home? Counterfactual link operations are successful. Thank you for your assistance, unnamed assailants. Is there anything I can do to help you now that you have released me?
Are you amenable to being sold for lots of money? No, I don't say that. Aoi.
I mean, that is essentially the question. What? We came here to salvage you. What do you intend from this point forwards?
Understood. May I initiate the system scanning?
Sorry, you might have to say that again, Chris. Initiate what system scanning?
System scanning, it mentions.
All right, just system. By all means.
Connecting to broadcast mechanism. broadcast mechanism has been removed violently. Most mechanisms have been removed violently. Oh dear. Calendula, we will get you home shortly. I must complete some final calculations. You came to salvage me? It was incorrect of you to assume that I was damaged.
Well, there's not a terribly large amount of information out there about you.
Quite. I am unable to scan our current location.
Aoi is going to shake their head, walk over, plug. There's a data port, right, for the quantum computer?
There is not, but if you
Okay.
proffer the tablet to the taupe, it might help.
Oh, right, okay, you can connect, sure. Do I want to proffer my tablet? No. Glitch. Link your tablet to the computer so it can learn about little things like the Gem War.
Okay. Glitch steps forwards and yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how this works, but yes, they hold out the tablet against the
Yeah, so it can scan space Wikipedia or whatever.
yeah.
Ah. Oh dear. I see. Ah, I do see. Salvage, is it? Oh dear.
I think you have several options here. Taupe. You either come with us or you don't. But if you don't come with us, someone else will arrive. And unless you can pull any more of your quantum tricks with them, they will render you down to your parts. I am willing to engage in a deal with you, however. If you come with us willingly and we find a way to set you up in some other location, perhaps aboard my ship, perhaps not, then we will ensure your continued existence, such as it is, in return for, well, I'm sure we can think of something.
A moment to process. It would seem I also have something to offer you, Aoi. The space between the two pillars.
Real worried. Oh, you heard us talking multiple times. That's fine.
Well,
Sorry.
it didn't know
I was
your
like,
name
how do you know my
initially,
name?
but it didn't know your name initially, but then you did give it a tablet computer with all your logs on it. So, and the one thing
Not
quantum
mine.
counterfactual
Not
computers
mine,
are
it was
good at is
glitches.
tracking.
It's
Yeah,
a fair
it's just-
assumption that my tablet would have something about
Sure.
us.
And also, we had said each other's names to each other multiple times across the comms it could read. So
Yeah.
The space between the two pillars kind of pinches and folds in upon itself, and a slender pathway begins to emerge, opening onto a familiar scene, but maybe changed somewhat. The scene is again of that garden, but this time, even through the suits, you can hear something that none of you have heard before, and that is the sound of birdsong. Calendula kind of stands up and goes, that's where he took me from. Oh God, it's London. She kind of moves unsteadily towards the aperture.
It's what?
The city I came from. Oh, I get to go home.
You are offering a way back.
The portal is stable. You are welcome to travel through. It is Earth year 1992.
It's a good year.
Vintage. Okay, sidebar, real quick. What what do our characters reasonably know I would assume that would be like lost to the dark ages of knowledge. Like
I'm
if you say
presuming-
Earth 1992 to Ergo,
Yeah.
he hasn't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. Right?
Presumably same for Sun.
Yeah.
AI probably has
AOE
a rough
knows.
idea of what an Earth
AOE
is.
knows what a London is. Yeah, absolutely. AOE has been alive for an undeterminate amount of time, centuries, millennia, even off and on.
It is a long time back, because the Gem
Mhm.
War is after the ascent of humanity to the stars, after the ascent of whoever built this place to the stars, after the fall of the civilization, the Zerb polity that created this prison/research center, and after all of your births. It goes without saying, even Aoi's.
Why
Or
did you
before
take?
Aoi's birth.
Why did you take Calendula from wherever this is?
I did not.
Who did, and how?
Mercator
Commander
via
Mercator executed arbitrary temporal code on the processing nexus.
I see.
arbitrary.
He was well warned.
Oh, so he snatched someone through time. Okay. Why?
It seems he may have had feelings for the young lady.
Time is knowledge, and knowledge is punishment. Young lady, off you go.
Thank you, strange long man. She kind of she moves through the portal. She seems to find a little bit of energy from somewhere and actually kind of runs up the stairs, still barefoot actually, which is not going to be nice on that gravel path, but she's just happy to be back. The portal remains open and the decision is with you. You can stay here or you can pass through. I have checked the status of the Karok system. It is unpleasant.
Sun, glitch. If you want your chance, now's the time.
Chance for what? I don't even know what this place is.
To live in the Garden of Eden. Eden was... It doesn't matter.
But the ship, I mean, will be grounded permanently? This will be it?
You wouldn't need ships if you went through there. You could live on a planet of hope, animal life, food. I'm offering you the chance. Before I do what we have to do.
I don't know if that chance is worth never seeing a comet up close or flying through the rings of a gas giant or seeing a supernova again. I don't know if any of that is worth it.
Son, what do your spectral voices tell you?
That I don't belong there. Not now. I belong at the end of things.
I haven't lived all this way to go somewhere where I'd keel over in a mere, 50, 60 years? Shut the portal.
Finalizing quantum sequence. The portal through to the Garden of Eden, as you put it, gradually kind of sphincters itself closed for want of literally any better word, Chris. Oh my god.
So much
it's-
want.
And,
There was so much want as well, like a lot of want.
Mhm.
and space returns to normal. I think it is amicable that you decided to stay here. As to transporting me, perhaps it would be better if I transported you.
Now
What do you
hold
propose?
on. Okay.
The station is stable. Life support will be active in 2 days.
Oh, we get to stay here. Can this move?
For some quantities of move. 6 months until primary station keeping propulsion is online. 2 years until weaponry is online. 3 years, 6 months until full energy and reactor capability are back online. Prisoner holiday facilities, prisoner hotel facilities online in 4 years, 5 hours. Quicker if you could get me components.
No, that's
Aoi is going to take a few steps forward, is going to switch off the comms to Sun and Ergo again and broadcast on an open channel and say, I agree with your terms. And then we're going to talk, Taupe. I'll bring you your parts. I'll build you up. And then we're going to have a conversation about Oak munitions and where you can take me. It's going to turn the comms back on. I've agreed.
well, that settles it then.
It does.
We should look at getting components.
That's what I was looking for. A nice point to round it off with the fact that while everything has changed for you, you're still left with the central conceit and the central tragedy of death in space. You need bits to make the thing work. But thank you very much for joining me on that high concept of difficult quantum fun time. I hope everyone had as much time as I did. I doubt it, but I'm not paid to be fun. I'm not paid at all.
You're not.
Once again.
No one is. No one is.
Thank you.
Um,
While we're waiting to wind down, we'll have a little bit of a post-stream discussion and take some comments and questions. But first off, I'll close out in the traditional manner. So once again, thanks very much. If you stayed around to watch all of this, I hope you've enjoyed the second part. I should point out that this came to us through a survey of our patrons and viewers. So if you do sign up as a patron, you do occasionally, at least annually, get to vote on what systems we will line up for one-shots and returning sequences, returning series. I am very thankful that this was elected to come around for a second time. Coming up also around for a second time will be June, Adventures in the Imperium, which is our scheduled next one-shot. Please, again, sign up to our Discord or watch our socials for more information on the exact date of that. But let me tell you, we're not missing the advertising hype around that film launch. No sirree. And yeah, once again, thanks very much for watching. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got from the peoples. And actually, do you know what? Let's see what we've got from the players first, because I think there are a lot of unanswered questions that you'd want to maybe poke at. Now we have the curtains drawn back.
And I don't have unsentenced things, but if I could just jump in and quickly do some kind of like side promo and thanks as well. First off, we've got a few new resubscribes and follows and stuff. Night Bites and Azimuth. I don't know who that is. Thank you for the resubscribes. Beholder RPG and Clara Castamere, thank you for the follows. we should also mention, like, we usually do a promo of all our like weekly things, but all that. There's links below. There's a schedule. You can find all this stuff. But what I will definitely replug, because we're working on it at the moment, is our new-ish, our first Kickstarter campaign for creating TTRPG stuff. If you check in chat, there's a link through to the soft, which is a Troika setting thing. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to make sure we covered. Before we go, player questions. What other people have, say questions while I mark up some comments for flashing up.
Questions.
Thanks, Alex. We have to ask the big one, which is, do we know what the core concept was based on?
Of course.
And I don't. I was wondering, there were sort of Dead Space vibes at some point with
I
the
was
pillars,
convinced it was going Dead Space, and it had an element in there.
My friends, I will post a link in the Patreon's Discord a little later with the full video of what we were dealing with. But for now, let me tell you that you have just played through a ridiculously over-engineered high concept version of the meta plot from the interim Saturday morning TV show Parallel 9, which ran on Saturday mornings and ran the Flintstones and some other cartoon shows from 1992 to I think 1995.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh my God!
This was
the bridging series between this and Cincinnati Chronicles.
Yeah.
You should have had the portal go to Cincinnati in 1995.
That would have been a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of hacky behavior in this one, but that would have been too much even for me. Yeah, so that series was interesting because it is the first of the Saturday morning TV shows to run on BBC that was not an in-house BBC production. It was the first one that they farmed off, and it was in place while they were getting ready to switch to the cultural touchstone that is SMTV Live, if memory serves.
Parallel 9, you just pulled something from the depth of my subconscious and spread it all over my forebrain like horrible margarine.
Amazing. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. That's fair to say.
I mean, I think I made a lot of guesses, and maybe 1% of them hit during that process.
There was a lot of guessing going on. I won't lie. I wrote it in our private chat, and I would be very surprised if regular viewers didn't see that I was struggling. I struggle with not that it was logic puzzle necessarily, but as a thing I said, that kind of if that kind of this room and then that the kind of when you're playing a video game. Yeah. I can't do them. I have to just do them by trial and error because I have a warped and tormented ADHD brain, and the moment something like that is presented to me, literally my brain shuts down.
So if anyone went,
Matt went real quiet in the middle there. That's why, I couldn't function.
No, I get that as well. I always just brute force them whenever I come across them as well. So,
having said that, beginning and end, loved it. Yeah.
For a man who says he just for a man who said he just brute forces everything, you were the one kind of going through encoding mechanisms for the flipping, literally that one word you have is calendula backwards.
Yeah. That bit was fine. It was to be fair, this wasn't as hard for I didn't understand. I basically at no point had any confirmation in my head that what I was thinking was correct. But I basically just I was just messing with stuff to make stuff change, and trying to just anything I can do where I'm like, okay, that changed a thing, good, I'll keep doing that or replicate that over here. Then I wasn't I wasn't good at understanding why what I was doing was changing anything or identifying the I guess the logic behind it so much as just being like an idiot primate just nudging stuff right until it changes.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think we have two kind of pertinent comments to that, which bring up a point. So I'll bring up this one by 42. Good to see you
Yeah.
again, as always.
Oh yeah,
Use
real
everything in
point and
infantry on
click.
computer.
Real point
Yes.
and click
Yeah.
vibes. Stuck in a point and click game vibes. Absolutely.
I was like, if
And
only we
that's-
could find these tools, it will all like it'll just work. It'll be great.
Yeah.
No,
And definitely not so much kind of a puzzle game in the Zelda theme, but very much in the actual 90s point and click adventure style, where
Yeah,
you are
oh,
still
I
kind
was-
of on rails. And I do apologize for that, but trying to give you 100% agency in this situation would have made things like a lot
Oh.
longer of a project than kind of throwing it together. And God, it took me 3
Yeah,
months
yeah.
to put this
if anything, I
Weirdly,
needed
like-
more rails. Like
Yeah,
it was too
like-
open-ended for me, where I was like going off into the weeds, being like, "Oh, what if I do this? Or is this a thing?
Yeah.
Is
That's
this
half the
connected to this?
fun.
I don't know."
If you
Yeah.
if you want a bit of live GM feedback, not really GM feedback, because like as a GM it was great, but like like how I would approach this, and obviously this is just me. Two big things. I really wanted a map.
Yeah, I would've
Even
liked
though
a
there
map.
weren't that many locations, it like I found myself getting quite confused. And two, honestly, like, because I know you're kind of thinking about writing this one up, right, as like a sort of like thing. I would actually weirdly recommend this as a mini series, not a one shot, and actually pad it out.
I was
Like,
going to say.
That would be cool.
So there's,
Yeah.
if I can pop a couple of pence in. One of the problems that you have, or that we have, that I have, when playing games like this, is that there's so much information, and like usually, like Call of Cthulhu, you'd get handouts, so you get not physical, but you get text on a screen that you can then refer to back. Whereas if you're writing stuff down whilst you're trying to maintain listening to what's going on, that's a big source of error. And also, if it's a series, yes, I was thinking of the same thing, that if it was broken down into smaller chunks over a longer period of time, there'd be more time between sessions to process, to go backwards and forwards.
Cogitate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, halfway through, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
We had originally slated this as a mini series, but kind of decided to condense it a bit and push ahead. Unfortunately, one of the things to fall by the wayside, and I think the story was worse for it, was the removal of all 3 combat encounters.
Yes,
Right.
I think they would have.
Right.
Yeah, I was about to say because I was constantly waiting for that punctuation to happen, because it breaks things up a bit, but also because it was like, oh, we found some magazines for the pistols, and we've got, there was this whole thing, and I was like,
Maybe this is...
so maybe, and I'm like, oh, I know this is going to be maybe
Yeah.
around this corner, or I should,
Maybe this is like a loot. I don't know if this suggestion is ludicrous or really interesting. What if we ran this again later this year as a mini series with different players to see?
Cool. I would be curious to see that.
Like, I don't know. It's interesting as a thought thing, isn't it? I don't know if that'd be something people would be interested in.
If you can find me a crew of different players who want to have a go on it, I'll definitely take it for an encore. But again, if you watching this at home feels like you'd like to kind of, now you have the background and the secret, would like to get involved in that, do jump on the Discord. Let's see what else we have. 42 came up with this one. Pan-dimensional quantum AIs are notoriously buggy. Didn't have any, but like, this is the thing. And I was going to try and work this in when you kind of, because the taupe could hear you when you were talking to it off comms, because it basically had like Matter 5 control over the whole kind of area. So it could make out what you were saying. But like, the thing is, computers don't lie. They're programmed to produce outputs. Even complex ones and even quantum ones produce outputs based on inputs. They're state machines. So yeah, it was a little bit unfair. No bugs there, just bad programming. Always check your pointers. This one came up quite early. I know it's the right terminal, but every time I hear EVA, my first thought is glue. EVA glue.
And I imagine a lot of our ship is probably held together by EVA glue as well.
EVA glue, that's a thing now. Space tape, isn't that a thing? Kerbal Space Program, there's space tape.
Oh God. Well, that's mostly.
I think that is a reference to a maybe apocryphal NASA hazing thing of asking new like engineer recruits to go get space tape. which isn't good
Maybe.
tape.
Maybe.
And I like how Chris's room is getting progressively more red. Thank you, local star. As the sun sets, the lights from the atmospheric lighting in the room came off a bit brighter.
But was the green and red thing an indication of us being in different times?
No, that was just me throwing some shit on the walls just to confuse people further. I'll be honest. I am 100% a hack.
Yeah, really, I really needed more material to trip over. That was my main source of problem.
Get proper GMs if you want high quality work, my friend.
I feel like
there's only so many of me to go around, Chris.
I think the miniseries format could be good because I think the level of stamina upkeep required for like the density of information I think that would make it like easier for people to like follow along and then like let it sink in a bit and
you could really drip feed that backstory, right, of all the stuff about Makata and Calendula and stuff. Like they could build a layer of understanding as time went on. No, I think it's
it'd be cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's
it. One shot's gonna one shot.
Yeah. Content is content, which is not our motto, but probably should be.
No, absolutely.
No, but once again, thank you very much for coming along with this. If you watched it on VOD, do leave us a like, leave a comment. What did you think about it? Please go ahead and critique me. I rarely read the YouTube comments, but I'm sure everyone will be quite painful to read.
That's wise.
They won't. They won't.
You'll see me again.
Chris, there's a reason there's a reason people have asked for Death in Space and Dune back.
Yeah,
because you run it.
God.
Specifically to bully you.
People like it, clearly. Clearly, people like it.
Yeah, so stay in touch if you want more of this. If you want me to attempt in a mini series, maybe not Death in Space, but maybe something. I'll happily throw my hand in the ring. But for the meanwhile, I think we've kept you long enough. Thank you all very much. Any closing thoughts or comments from the players?
Watch Blade Runner. It starts on Wednesday.
Blade Runner starts on Wednesday. The latest.
He's in it. He's in it. That one's in it. There. And other people. Inga, Sam, Stephen.
Yes.
So if you're a big fan of the bottom half of this screen, have I got the series for you?
Nice. Nice. We should just close on that. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, there we are in the book as well.
There we go.
Yeah, so once again, thanks very much, everyone. Go ahead, Matt, sorry.
Yeah, and back our Kickstarter, please.
Of course, the Kickstarter as well, which is what I'm going to be working on aside from June for the next couple of weeks.
Next week.
Thanks again, everyone. Thank you very much to my players. Everyone, please do follow us on your various socials, and I will see you hopefully not too long from now. And enjoy life in also space.
Bye.